Hey party people, welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Taylor, but I go by tramsue on all of my platforms, and I'm so excited for today's video because not only am I going to be sharing my personal journey as an influencer, but I'm going to be sharing how you can maximize your moment, whether it's through a viral video, whether it's through a series, or just whether you're just gaining traction online as a creator. So I hope this video is helpful to you, but before we get into it, I do want to ask, are you subscribed? Are you a part of the Party People family? Because over here, we celebrate life every single day as a party people. And why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Exactly. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and we'll get right into the video. Now, I'm a firm believer that you cannot talk about where you are going or where you are at without talking about where you have come from. So I want to share a little brief history about my career as an influencer and also what I did before I even became an influencer that really has helped me in this influencer industry. So in 2016, I picked up a camera and started a YouTube channel. That YouTube channel was called the B channel, and it was an anonymous advice column to help my peers. At the time, I was always the person that all of my friends would come to for advice that they just didn't feel comfortable going to their parents, their families, or any of their other friends about. And so as someone who has always had a heart for people, especially women specifically, I thought it would be a great idea to create this advice column that would help anonymously answer all of the questions that my peers had. And so that is exactly what I did. I went to my mom, I told her my idea, and she was like, girl, you gonna post videos on the internet on purpose? Okay. And shout out to a mother that still believes in your vision, even when she doesn't see it. That'll preach. But anyway, and so I'll post 1 or 2 videos a week and started gaining traction that way. And then it was my senior year and I decided to vlog the countdown until prom, and people fell in love with my personality. People also fell in love with my crazy family. And so I started vlogging. And I graduated, of course, vlogged my experience of going to college, moving to my first dorm room, my first homecoming week. Like literally, some of y'all have been here since Wingate days, and that is a whole different version of me, but y'all have seen the journey. So if you are an OG, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below because you have been here from the beginning, okay? Okay, so I started vlogging my experience and gaining even more traction that way. It was very slow. 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers, 7,000 followers, like very, very slow. I believe YouTube is one of the hardest platforms to grow. And over the years, I continued to vlog. And of course, you know, life happens and reality kind of sets in. Like, this is a hobby. This is not a real job. And life is expensive, right? So I gotta get some money. And all throughout college, I worked 1 to 3 jobs. Like, I was never out here not working. Your girl is from a single parent household, so there was no money tree in our backyard. My mom has raised 2 amazing, beautiful kids and, you know, has achieved success in her career. But growing up, that was not the case. Okay. That was not the case. There was 1 income and 1 income only. She had 2 mouths to feed, and we were in a lot of different extracurricular activities. So there was not a lot of money to spare. Okay. And college is expensive. Specifically, the college I chose, even with the scholarship, was expensive. So your girl was a working girl. She's never been afraid of hard work, ever, ever, ever. So eventually I come to graduate college. I graduate in the middle of a pandemic, which means like jobs are just not even a real thing right now. Like, even with the college degree, getting a job is not realistic because people are losing their jobs and their lives left and right. Right? So that wasn't a thing. I ended up creating a skincare company, and it was actually very successful. I had that skincare company for about a year before I went into corporate. And as I entered corporate, I heard God telling me to close that business down. Now, at the time, I did not understand why God was telling me to close that business down because it was making good money. But again, do not delay in being obedient to what God is telling you to do because you have no idea what's on the other side of obedience. So I ended up closing that business legally, like shutting everything down and going into corporate America. I worked at a hedge fund investment firm for a billionaire in Charleston, and I am so grateful for that experience because it has truly helped me in not being fazed by big numbers when they come across my inbox because I was already in some ways desensitized to seeing 5 figures, 6 figures come across my desk, and it didn't move me. So in that way, I do believe God was building my character to not be moved by money, but to be moved by integrity, right? So I enjoyed that job in the beginning. And at the time when I first started that job, I had just become a model as well. and a working model, which just meant that every single time that I pulled up on set, your girl was getting paid, and she was getting paid decent money. Okay, I was getting paid decent money, and that was another source of income for me, and I really loved doing it. I am my best self when I am in front of a camera, and I know that is a gift from God, and I do not take that for granted. And I did not realize that at the time that most people are not themselves or even comfortable in front of a camera. And I feel like I'm my best self when I'm talking to a camera. When I am just in front of a camera, I just feel like I am on go, and everybody does not have that gift. It does not come natural to everybody. So I ended up doing that. And I promised God that if I were to ever make more money modeling than I did at my corporate job, I would leave my corporate job and go full time with modeling. And 3 months into working in corporate America, I made triple, maybe quadruple what I was making from a modeling deal with Express that was nationwide. I was in all of the stores across the nation. I honestly think across the world, because my cousin in Abu Dhabi saw me in the Express over there. So I don't even think this was just a nationwide. I think this was a global campaign. And that was the most money I had made at that time as a model. And so I was like, oof, God, you kind of circle back quick on that one. And I'm not quitting this job because I'm just now getting approved for my benefits, and I need that 401k. They match over here. I need that job security. And at that very moment, everything switched at my job. The people went from loving me to literally hating me overnight. And I'm just going to say that was God literally pushing me out of the door, because it became such a toxic work environment that I literally could not go another day. In the midst of all of this, during that time, God was leading me to start influencing. At the time, I don't even think I had more than 2,000 followers on Instagram. I think I maybe had 20 something thousand on YouTube. And I was not even a thing that, like, TikTok did not exist in my mind. It did exist, but I was like, I'm not getting on TikTok. I'm not a dancer. Like, that is not a thing for me. So I was not a TikTok girl. I said I would never get on TikTok. I was steadfast on that. And so I told God, I said, God, if I go full throttle and I give this influencer thing my all for the next 30 days and nothing comes of it, then I'll let it go. I will never ask you about this again. I will literally let that desire die. And within 30 days, I posted 3 times a day for 30 days on Instagram. And I went from 2,000 followers to 10,000 followers. And it was by the thousands, month after month. Month after month, I was gaining thousands and thousands of followers. And so God showed me. I said, God, like, listen, if this does not work out, I will never pick up another camera again. I will be regular. I will be mediocre. I will never dream like this again. Because deep down, I know that I have always been called to impact women. How that looked, I didn't know specifically, but I knew I was supposed to be somebody. Like, I think everybody that is supposed to be somebody, not to say that everybody isn't somebody, but everybody is not gifted to have platforms or to be seen publicly or globally. That is not what God calls everybody to, but I knew He had called me to that. And so I just hadn't seen the fruit of it, but I knew the seed was planted in my heart. And I just thought that was something that I would give up on if I didn't see the fruits of it eventually. Which, do not give up on your dreams. If God has given them to you, if God has given you vision, if He has spoken over your life, do not, I repeat, do not give up on that. God is faithful to fulfill every single promise to you. He is a man that He cannot lie. So if He cannot lie, every single thing that He has shown you or even spoken over your life or spoken to you privately, it will come to pass. And I am a living witness of that. So influencing started to take off, and I was like, okay, God, okay, like, you held up your end, I'm gonna hold up my end. And literally it got to a point where I was having these meetings with my manager because of the work environment that I was in. Nothing was being done. And one day I was going to the bathroom, I believe, and I came across the messenger that we used at that specific corporation. And I saw 2 of my direct coworkers talking about me. I mean, just lines and lines talking about me. And so I took a picture of it to remind myself that when I left this job, I would never come back to a work environment like this, and I would never go back to corporate America. I still have that picture in my phone today to remind me on the days that I want to give up, on the days that I feel like this may be too hard. This is what you're going back to. And not to say that there are not healthy work environments in corporate America. That is not what God called me to. Okay, so please don't get it twisted. I am not bashing 9 to 5s. Your girl has worked a 9 to 5 pretty much her entire life, except for the past 3 years. So don't get it twisted. I am not bashing 9 to 5s. 9 to 5s are amazing. That is not what God called me to. Okay, so I ended up having one last meeting with my manager, and literally I already had my 2 weeks notice typed out because I was going to go on vacation for my birthday, and I was going to give that 2 weeks notice 2 weeks before I went on my birthday trip. So when I left for my birthday trip, I was not coming back, but God had other plans. That whole thing came a month early, a whole month early. I had a meeting with my manager. By the time that meeting ended, I told her this will be my last day. I would not be returning. I can no longer work here because my mental health was in the trash. I was crying in the bathroom, literally in the middle of the day. I was crying on my way to work. I was crying on my way home from work. All I could do when I got home was go to sleep. Hand to the Bible, my mom will vouch for me. All I could do when I got home was go to sleep. I wasn't talking to my friends. I wasn't talking to my family. I was going to work. I was crying and I was going to sleep. And I was going to therapy, but I wasn't even being completely honest with my therapist at the time. I just thought that this paycheck equated to success. And because I grew up in a family that held corporate jobs higher than they did someone chasing their dream, I thought that was the right thing to do. And the right thing in the world may not be the right thing for you to do. Because if God has called you to do something, he will give you provision and he will also give you vision for it. And I had the vision. I just didn't have the perseverance, and I also didn't have the faith at the time to see it through. So I left that corporate job September 15th of 2021, and I started pursuing influencing. I made my corporation that same year as well in October. And I have been full-time ever since. I always say I've been full-time since 2022, since that was like the first full year. But my business was formed in 2021. And so I have been doing this full-time for 3 years. Now, for the past 3 years, I have been working with brands, some dream brands, and some brands that, I have just discovered over the years, but it has been a struggle. And I'm not going to lie to you when I say that it has not been easy. I feel like I have been climbing this ladder and been getting kicked in the face and getting pushed down. And recently, due to a viral hygiene series on TikTok, I amassed over 100,000 followers in less than 7 days. That is unheard of. And it is growing by the 10,000s every single day. And I don't say that to brag because I've had other viral moments, but I have not had viral moments that have built community in this way. And I have also not had viral moments that are continuously growing and I'm keeping my audience engaged. And I want to share the differences in the other viral moments where it was just a viral moment and my video ended up on the wrong side of the internet. And I had men and women calling me everything but a child of God. In this viral moment where I am making an impact in real women's lives, I am helping people and I am also serving. And I think serving is the biggest difference that this quote unquote viral moment has made. I am also not naive to the fact that this is just my time and my turn. And God has truly accelerated this level of growth in my life from my obedience in the dark room that he has had me in, building my integrity, building my character, sanctifying my mouth, allowing me to be obedient in the small things. Like there's so much that has gone on behind the scenes in the past 3, 4, 5 years that have truly, God has just done a 180 in my heart, in my mind, to where I can maximize this moment, but also still be integral and have character and not sell my soul. So now that you have context in history of where I come from as far as my career and, where I have worked and how I got here, for the most part, you have a general overview. I want to talk about this specific viral moment. So I am known for hair and beauty on Instagram. Instagram at the time or previously has been my biggest platform until recently. And I am known for, keeping my hair done. I am Miss Keep Her Hair Done. I am known for beauty hacks and routines and, simple soft glam makeup. And if you would have told me that hygiene was the thing that was going to be what I was known for, I would have laughed at you because I genuinely did not believe that my hygiene routine was different from anybody else's. I thought that I was doing what everybody else did. And that is just not the case. That is not the case at all. And I'm so grateful that this is the thing because it comes so authentic to me. I am really not a beauty girl in my heart of hearts. I learned to do my makeup because I was a model, and there was not there was usually not a qualified makeup artist that knew how to do black and brown skin. So I had to do my own makeup. I had to bring my own makeup kit because I would be looking like a ghost if I did it. And so that is how I gained my love for beauty over the years. And of course, 2016 era, learning from the Jackie Ainas, the Alyssa Ashleys, all those people, like I just learned along the way, but it was never like a super passion. I did it because I had to be in front of a camera, and to be in front of a camera, you know, you need to look put together. Not to say that you have to wear makeup to look put together, but you know what I'm saying? So that's why I did it. I don't think I would ever consider myself a beauty girl. Now, I do love beauty, and I love finding new tips, tricks, and hacks and things like that. But I'm a creature of habit. I'm probably going to have the same makeup routine, maybe switch out a product here or there. But like, what works for me works for me. And I'm not trying to try a new product every day. That's just not who I am. So that's what I thought I would be known for. And I, again, have had viral hair moments. I have had viral beauty moments, and none of them have stuck the way that this hygiene series has stuck. And I believe the reason why this is stuck is because at the core of this, in my heart of hearts, I truly just want to help women in a non-judgmental way. I do know and realize that so many people, men and women, just simply were not taught hygiene. And if I'm being honest, a lot of what I know was not taught to me. It was learned by fire. For example, the witch hazel hack that went viral, which is where I share using witch hazel under your armpits and also in the creases and crevices of your body and in your intimate areas to stay fresh, minimize sweat, and stay clean all day. That hack, I learned that because I had a little odor in my armpit, y'all. Like, I had a little in my armpit, and I was trying everything. I was using Panoxyl, I was using lemons, I was using baking soda, I was using my whole kitchen, my whole grocery list. I was putting under my armpit. So this truly came out of necessity for me, and I didn't have anybody to go to talk to about this. I just had to figure it out. And so imagine all if I had an amazing mother that taught me how to wash, it still fell through the cracks. She was a single mother. There are some things that are just going to fall through the cracks. Even now, I'm still sharing things and tips and tricks with my mother and the women in my family that I have learned. You know what I mean? Like, you're never too old to learn anything. So in my heart of hearts, one, I believe that this series is going viral because at the heart of it, I simply just want to help. I do not want to judge or shame anyone because I know what it feels like to be judged for just not having knowledge. Two, I am truly serving people. Every single video, I am answering a question. And I think oftentimes when people get into content creation, you are not focused on serving and service. You're focusing on what other people are doing or what is the new hot thing. What I'm doing right now, I don't even think is a hot thing. I think people have done it before, but I think it sticks with people. One, because I am truly educating and teaching. I am breaking down the why behind each step. And most importantly, I believe it's because of my compassion and empathy. I'm just a girl, and I'm just your home girl. Like, we all been funky, whether it's your breath, whether it's your pocketbook, whether it's your armpit, whether it's your hair. We have all been funky at one point in our lives. Like, you could sit up here and act like you ain't ever been funky in your life, but I promise you, you have. And so in my heart to just help women, I am serving. Literally each single video, I am answering a question on hygiene or something that somebody has asked me on a previous video. I am serving every single day. Another reason why I believe that this hygiene series is not just a moment that we are continuously going to build community is because other women are also in the comments helping one another. Because I have created such a safe space for women to be honest and vulnerable about what they don't know, other women are coming in and being like, girl, this is what I do. Okay, well, I have sensitive skin, or I have eczema, so this is what I do because I can't do that. Or I have an allergy to perfumes, but this is what I do to smell good. Like, it's not just me serving the girls are serving one another. This has truly built a community of women that are just caring for and loving on each other. And that to me is the difference in any other piece of content that I have created. I am not only serving the girls, but the girls are taking a page out of my book, if you will, and serving one another and engaging with one another and following one another. Like, this has just become a wildfire of just love and vulnerability and support. And also, I am sharing other creators that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. There's one creator that it does a dusting powder routine, and I got so many questions about how to incorporate dusting powder into my post-shower routine, and that's not something that's authentic to me. And I could have sat on here and lied and and went to the store or copied somebody else's content and not been authentic and honest and say, hey, that's not something that I do in my routine, but hey, I know somebody who does. Go over to her page and support her. I could have just lied, copied her, and acted as if it was mine, which so many other creators have done, and do not give Black women their credit. But that's another topic for another day. What I did was say, hey, y'all, I don't do dust and powder, but I know somebody who does. This is her at. Y'all click that. Y'all go support her because we support Black women over here. Simple, easy. But that is authentic to me. And that is the character that God built in me. That is the integrity that He has built in me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it takes nothing to go support somebody else. And it also doesn't take money out of my pocket to go put somebody else onto something that they are looking for. Again, every single piece of content that I have created has been an answer to somebody's question. And that is simply what business is. Any business that you see that is open right now is an answer to a question, is an answer to a problem. Businesses are created out of necessity. And so what I am doing, I am simply just fulfilling a need for so many women. And they are enjoying the community that comes with that. They are enjoying the love that comes with that, the compassion, the empathy that comes with that. And just like the sheer joy of being in community with Girl I Lies. Like, the community of women that I have built specifically on TikTok is, y'all, I could cry. I could cry because the girls are so amazing over there. There is no cattiness, no bickering, no cussing, no fighting. Like, I could not make this up. And one thing that I do want to point out is that this is all God. All of the things that are happening in my life right now on every front is God. This was spoken over my life years ago, and now I'm just starting to see the harvest of what was spoken. So it's not lost on me that it took years for me to get here, because God had to build me. He had to build my character. He had to build my integrity so that I wouldn't fumble this moment. Because there's nothing, when it's your turn, when God is telling you that it's your moment, there is absolutely nothing that can stop it outside of you getting outside of His will. I definitely do believe God's timing plays a huge part of it, but I do believe preparation and consistency have helped me to maximize this moment. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. So I have been creating content for almost 10 years now. I just got a notification from YouTube thanking me or celebrating me for 9 years of creating content. And it's been 3 years consistently showing up full time as a influencer and content creator. And I have been consistent. There has not been a season of my life where I have not shown up consistently on my platforms. That has just not been the case. Consistency is her middle name. Now, did I fall off on YouTube? Absolutely. But when it came to Instagram, which was my primary platform before now, I was clocking in. At one point, I was posting every single day, but now I post three times a week, and I have not missed that 3 times a week for ever. Like, I have just not missed it. But now I'm at a place where I can handle creating 7 videos in one day, which I have done today. This will be the 8th because I have gotten my repetition in. I know how to talk to my audience. I am comfortable in front of a camera. I can edit a video in less than 30 minutes and get it up and post it. Like, because I've had the consistency over the 3 years, I can maximize this moment and not be overwhelmed at the volume of content that I am producing, because I have put my reps in. Like, I have gotten my reps in. God was preparing me for this moment. So don't despise the process, because in the process, that is when God is truly revealing who you are. He is sanctifying you and wringing out all the things that are not like Him in you, so that when your moment does come, you can maximize it. So now that I am at a place where, the series is going viral, I'm building community at such a rapid rate. Also, just from affiliate linking and you guys going crazy, I am making the most money I have ever made in my entire life. And that is not to brag. That is not to boast at all, in no way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is that through my faithfulness and staying the course, God is blessing me in an immeasurable way. And I cannot be more grateful. I cannot be more thankful. But most importantly, I am just, again, not naive to the fact that this was spoken over my life, and I am just now starting to walk into it. So if you are in the beginning phases of your journey, I do not want you to look at my journey and be like, oh, well, I should be here, I should be there, or I wish I was in her position. Because one, you have no idea the amount of tears I have cried, the amount of things I have gone through to get to this position, the amount of no's that I have had to say to brands, even when I probably should have said yes for the money. But I trust that God, throughout this entire process, I have trusted that God is my provider and he will never leave me nor forsake me. So even when it didn't make sense to even my manager, I said no to money that that the average person probably would have said yes to pay their bills or whatever the case is. But time and time again, God has shown me that he truly is my provider and that I literally do not have to compromise and will not compromise my integrity, my values to live, to do what he has called me to do. I am on this journey with y'all as well. I don't know all that's on the other side of this, but what I do know is that your obedience will unlock things that you could not imagine. I recorded that hygiene video just because I felt led to do so. It was not a part of my normal content programming. I'm not a hygiene girl. Like, that is not something I've ever consistently talked about or even thought people would be interested in. But I felt something, and I'm going to say the Holy Spirit because I hate saying something and not giving him his credit, tell me to make that video, especially with the witch hazel trick, because that is something that I know made such a huge difference in my life. Your girl don't have a funky pit no more. Like, it was just this right one right here. It was just this one armpit that was just like, girl, what is going on? And so I made that video, didn't think anything about it. And it didn't really perform that well. Over time, it gained traction. And then I got back from vacation a week and a half ago, and I saw that video was gaining traction. I was like, well, let me just make a follow-up, because a lot of people are asking questions on where to put it, how to apply it. And so I made a video. So I made a follow-up video telling people, giving people a tutorial on how to apply the witch hazel to their bodies and all the places in which it could go. And that video, I believe, has over 4 million views now and growing. And that is what kickstarted this hygiene series. So imagine if I wasn't even obedient. And mind you, when I recorded that second video, I was sick coming off of vacation. I was sick as a dog, but something in me, the Holy Spirit was telling me, get up and record that video. And that video has changed the trajectory of my entire life. If you don't get anything else from this, obedience is the key to the kingdom. So now that I talked about where I've been and also where I am, again, I am watching this journey unfold just as y'all are. I am just as mind blown and shocked at the growth, at the engagement, at the new community I am building online. I am so, so grateful, like speechless, truly speechless, truly. So I am watching this journey unfold just as you are, but I do want to answer some questions that I did get on TikTok Live that you guys asked about, my creator journey and just how to continue, because I always want to ensure that I am helping you along the way, because we don't gatekeep over here. Like, holding information that you might need does nothing for me. It does not make my life any better. And yeah, so let's get into it. One of the questions was, what is consistency and what does that look like daily? So to me, consistency doesn't mean constant. A lot of people think that posting every day is the key. And I don't believe that, because I believe if you start something and you cannot maintain it, that's not consistency. If you only do it for 30 days, if you only do it for a week, if you only do it for a month, that's not consistency. Being able to do something over a long period of time is consistency. So for me right now in this season of life, I'm going to share what consistency looks like. Consistency for me looks like posting one YouTube video a week, posting 3 times a week on my Instagram, and posting daily on my TikTok. Now, you can do the math and on how many pieces of content that is per week. But again, I have capacity in this season to do that. And also, I have the skill to do that. I know how to pump out content at this level and at this rate, but it's because I have the reps and I have the practice. That does not mean that consistency will look like this in a year. It will look like this in 5 years. Consistency does not always look the same, because at one point I was posting 3 times a day. Right now, that is not sustainable for me, for my mental health, for my physical health. It's just not realistic. So for me, today was a huge batch content creation day, because I am headed out of town and I will not be able to film for several days. So I am pumping out 10 to 14 pieces of content in less than 24 hours. Now, am I going to edit all of that tonight? Absolutely not. But I am making sure I get all of it done because I won't be in town and I won't be able to create the way that I usually create before I leave town. So consistency looks different for everybody in different seasons. But to me, it just means that you are showing up at the same rate over a long period of time. Another question I got was how to stay motivated. And I don't think anybody stays motivated. I think motivation over a long period of time is just unrealistic. At some point, you are not going to be motivated and you are still going to have to show up. If I'm being quite honest, I don't even feel like showing up today. But again, I am committed to one, doing what I love and also showing up for the people who are showing up for me online. I am serving the girls. I am reporting for duty and happy to do so. I don't have motivation today and I'm still showing up. When motivation runs out, you need to lean in on your why. And for me, I am called to this. This is not just a career for me. This is truly something that God has called me to do. So when motivation runs out, passion and also purpose are what ignite me to keep going, because I'm not just doing this for me. I'm definitely not doing this just for a check. I am doing this because this is what God has called me to, and this is ministry for me. And so who am I to say no to God? Because if I say no to ministry, I'm saying no to God. Another question I got was how to deal with negative feedback. And boy, oh boy, have I gotten negative feedback over the years. And to that, I say there's actually a proverb I just learned for this. And I'm going to tell you what the proverb is. It's Proverbs 10:19. When words are many, sin is not absent, but he who holds his tongue is wise. Hold your tongue, baby. Join the ministry of shut up. These people online will 10 times out of 10 never say the things that they say to you online in person. And I just don't come into agreement with things that are just not true about myself. And nothing that anyone has ever said to me online that is negative has been true. So why would I get mad at something that's not even true? To me, it's the equivalent of somebody calling me ugly. That's not true. So why would I be offended? To me, you only get offended at things that you believe are true. So you got to let it roll off your shoulder. And I hate when people say when you get into a career like this, you sign up for it. No, I never signed up for anybody bullying me, bashing me, or treating me in a negative way. Nobody ever signs up for that. Now, do we handle it well? I do believe that most influencers who are successful handle it pretty well. And also, it's just draining to try to go back and forth with people who want you to go back and forth with them. Like, think about it. If somebody is saying something negative, they're trying to provoke you 9 times out of 10. And if you respond, they're going to have another response and another response. And it's just like, at what point is this serving me? And how is this serving or glorifying God? Like, it's not. Another question that I got is how to know it's your moment. And to me, I think I can answer this twofold. Like, you just know, like, there's just a knowing. Like, when I moved to Atlanta, when I obeyed God and moved to Atlanta out of obedience, I knew my life would change forever. I didn't know what that looked like. If I'm honest, I still don't know what all that looks like, but I just knew that my life would never be the same. And I am watching that unfold as we speak. Did I think it would unfold this way? Absolutely not. But it's not our job to know. It's our job to be obedient, right? So I think a part of it is you just know. And also the proof should be in the pudding. Like, I have been growing on a social media platform in record numbers that even other influencers can't explain. Like, nobody gets the credit for this outside of God. 100,000 people plus in less than 7 days is unheard of. And I love that God always told me he would do it that way, in a way where nobody else would get the credit. But I didn't know it would be like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and your audience will tell you, especially as a creator, your audience will tell you what they want. Like, the girls tell me every time I clock in, they're like, I need a video on this. Can you do this next? Can you do this next? Like, I literally have 15 to 20 videos lined up for the next however many days, because the girls tell you what they need. Serve the people. They will tell you. They will show you what they need and what they like. How to get over nervousness. That is a really great question. And to that, I just say repetition and practice. Like, literally not even 6 to 7 months ago, I did not feel comfortable talking directly to the camera. You can go back and check my content. I always did voiceovers because I liked having a script. And now that I talk to a camera dang near every single day, it has become way more natural. I have way less cuts in my videos because I have put in the work. I have gotten my reps in, right? So truly just practice. With practice comes improvement, and with improvement comes confidence. So just getting your reps in. You got to get your reps in. And it's okay to be bad at something. I think Black and brown people don't get to be bad at things often because we always have to be excellent. Be bad first. There's always room for improvement. All right, I think those are all of the questions. I feel like I have yapped enough for 2 videos at this point. But if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I am happy to do part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because I want to help the girls as much as possible. And I also just want to continue to share the journey as it unfolds because who knows what God has in store next, not only for me, but for you as well. And I'm so excited that you were part of my journey, and I'm so happy to be a part of yours. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment how you feel in the comment section below. And always, always, always stay prayed up, stay motivated, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.